UFC 261 went down over the weekend, and I wanted to make this video yesterday because when the event happened, I didn't want too much time to pass by and then everything becomes old news. But I'm doing it now, better late than never. So here goes. So the event had 3 title fights, a great event, absolutely phenomenal event, and the audience was back. The crowd came back, and I was really enjoying the empty arenas. I was enjoying how you can hear the coaches, you can hear the fighters grunting, you can hear every punch land, but hearing the cheering of the crowd, I forgot how much I missed it. That was really good. It happened in Jacksonville, Florida. I don't know if it's going to be considered what they call a super spreader event, but I know down in Florida they're really different. Like, people don't wear masks. They stopped wearing masks a long time ago. Like, they're not too worried about this pandemic going on. So anyway, starting off, usually I talk about the other fights and then I get to the main event, but I'm just going to jump right into the main event. Kamaru Usman knocked out Jorge Masvidal in the second round with this crazy right hand he landed. And I have to say, Coach Trevor Whitman is the great coach, man. He's the MVP, and he's also coaching Rose, and she won her fight, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So coming into this fight, there was a lot of excuses. There was a lot of just excuses, doubts and everything else about why Kamaru won the first fight. And the thing that everyone was talking about was the 6 days notice. Jorge Masvidal only had 6 days to prepare for the fight, and that's why, he lost the first fight. Now, I call baloney on that, because if you think about it like this, if you're saying that the narrative that Jorge was putting out was that he had 6 days and his cardio wasn't there. Okay, so he's saying that if his cardio was there, he would win. But check this out. When the fight started, in the first round, he was losing from the beginning of the fight. So your cardio would be good enough to last at least a round. If you got tired and then that's the reason you lost, that would you would have been winning early on and then lose. For example, Conor McGregor, when he fought Nate Diaz the first time, Conor was winning the fight. Conor was winning the first round. It was very clear he was winning, and then he got tired and gets submitted in the second round. So you can say, okay, if Conor's cardio was good enough, he would be able to win the fight. And in the rematch, he did, as expected, because you could see what was happening early on. Whereas in this fight, Masvidal wasn't winning at all. Even before he got tired or whatever, he wasn't winning the fight. So this fight, I didn't expect him to win either. Obviously, there's always a chance. It's MMA. There's always a chance for a guy to land a punch, a big kick or something. But I didn't expect him to win. I thought that I didn't think it would be as. I thought Usman would win a decision. I didn't think it would be as boring as the first fight. I mean, that first fight to me was one of the most boring title fights I've ever seen. Like, it was horrible. I mean, he's holding him against the cage and just stomping on his toes for 5 rounds. That was terrible to watch. So this fight, I thought maybe he would take him down more. There'd be a little more striking, but I did think Usman would win the decision. But I'm no longer going to put him in that decision box. He's been a decision guy for so long that, the fans have put him in this box of, oh, he's a guy who goes to decisions all the time. But I'm no longer going to do that, because last fight he knocked the guy out, and this fight he knocked the guy out. He knocked Colby Covington out. So Usman's really getting his striking together, man. He's really getting his striking together. And next, he's gonna fight Colby Covington. And personally, look, I'm rooting for him. I hope his next fight with Colby ends a lot better than this fight. And in the first fight with Colby, one thing I did not like is that he caught a body kick early, and then the ref stopped the fight as if he was kicked in the groin and he was giving him time. He was hurt from that body kick, and I always wondered. The first fight was very, very close, but if the ref didn't stop that legitimate kick, would Colby Covington have won that fight? That's what I'm always thinking when it comes to that particular fight. Yeah, it was back and forth, but that one kick could have been the difference. It's kind of like the first fight with Jose Aldo and Chad Mendes. Mendes grabbed Aldo and he lifted him up. And he was going to land a takedown. And then Aldo grabbed onto the fence, and Mendes couldn't get that takedown. And then at 4:59 of the first round, it was a 4:58. Anyway, it was at the very last second of the first round. Mendes turned around, he landed the knee and knocked him out. I always wondered, would Mendes have, would the fight have gone differently had Aldo not grabbed the fence and stopped that takedown? Anyway, that's all for that fight. Next up, Rose Namajunas defeated Zhang Weili. A first round, 1 minute and 18 seconds into the first round, perfectly, beautifully landed head kick. And for this fight, I was so happy because Rose is one of those fighters who I believe she's so underrated, and people don't really give her the credit that she deserves. Like, when the first time she fought Joanna, I thought Joanna was going to win. I mean, Joanna Champion was smashing through everybody. And then she knocks Joanna in the first round to give Joanna her rightfully deserved rematch after 6 title defenses. Yeah, give her rematch, and then she loses again. And if you look at it, she was Rose lost her belt in her second title defense against Jessica Andrade, right? She gets slammed on her head. What a lot of people don't remember was that Rose was tagging up Andrade the whole time. Before she got lifted and slammed on her head, she was tagging her up. She was winning the fight, and she was winning it handily. That's why in the rematch, I thought Rose would win the rematch a lot more convincingly than she did. In the rematch, it was a close. She won. It was a close. I think it was a split decision for Rose. But I thought Rose would have won it a lot easier because in the first fight she was, lighting her up with the hands before she got slammed on her head. So in this fight, the crowd, they start booing Zhang Weili, which was, she seems like a fighter that the fans love, but they were booing her. And part of the reason I believe they were booing her is that, it's Trump country, it's Florida, the Chinese virus, as he calls it. So I'm thinking maybe part of that had to be the reason, or it could be that, it's just people are very patriotic. Again, it's Trump country, very, conservative, so to speak. So they're going to be more patriotic to the American, and that's cool. I'm cool with that too. I was rooting for Rose anyway. So, Rose lands the head kick and she goes down, and the way she stepped into it, like her left head kick was fast, like it was as fast as these heavyweights jabs. You know what I mean? It was super fast, especially for a foot. Perfectly landed, and Zhang Weili, she was kind of upset, kind of, pitching I wouldn't say having a hissy fit, but she was very upset, and she didn't realize what happened. She didn't realize that she had just gotten knocked out. And I don't know what's next for Rose. I think that they might give Zhang Weili a rematch. I don't think it's really necessary at this point. Weili she beat Andrade for the belt, and she defended it once against a very close fight against Joanna that a lot of people thought Joanna won. And now she loses the belt. So an immediate rematch to me would totally be, it wouldn't be fitting. It would totally be out of it wouldn't be necessary, so to speak. Next fight, Valentina Shevchenko. This fight the result of this fight was the most surprising. Not that Valentina won, but how she won. Valentina Shevchenko beats Jessica Andrade, and she got her, she used her wrestling. That's the thing that I didn't expect. Valentina, she's a great striker. Really good fighter. She's been with the same coach since she was a little kid. Her and her sister Antonina, they've been with that same coach since they were kids. And and I guess whatever he's doing all of these years from Kyrgyzstan to Peru, he's really, really doing a great job. Whatever he's doing with these girls, and the part of the fight that you would think Andrade would have a chance would be the wrestling, but Valentina decided to take her down and just dominate with the wrestling. And if the fight went back to the feet, we know how that's going to end up. Like, Andrade has no chance on the feet either. So it was just, there's no way Andrade was going to win this fight. And the way she got that mounted crucifix, it reminded me, and the way she got the finish, it reminded me of when John Jones fought Vladimir Matyushenko, and he got him in a mounted crucifix, and he started landing elbows. And I remember back on was it on Fuel TV? I'm not sure. I think it was on Fuel TV. Yeah, the fight took place on Fuel TV. But there was another MMA show where they would do like breakdowns and everything. And that's when they calculated that John Jones, he can cover like 10 feet of distance in like a fraction of a second. And when they timed, when he got Vladimir Matyushenko in the mounted crucifix, he landed 13 elbows in 4 seconds, and that's when the referee stopped the fight. So it was the same position, mounted crucifix, and he was just landing elbows. Andrade, she wasn't getting up from there. And yeah, so Valentina, another dominant win. And in my personal opinion, we're talking about GOATs. I would have to put the two fighters who always get left out. Is it because they're women? I don't know what the reason is, but Valentina and Amanda Nunes. I would have to put Valentina up there in one of the GOATs. As a candidate for the greatest of all time because of how dominant she is, how no one basically stands a chance against her. And if you look at her second fight against Amanda Nunes, a lot of people feel that she should have been the rightful winner of that fight. I don't know what's going to be next. Maybe Rose will fight someone like Tatiana Suarez. Valentina, I mean, there's really no one at 125 who can really mess with Valentina. If you look at the top 10 or the top 15, I don't see anybody in that division giving her any problems. And for Usman, definitely, you got to make the Colby fight. The next fight with Colby Covington, that is the fight to make. Anyway, guys, that's all I had to say about that. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one.